Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about what is the difference between ARP and ESP. And the reason I decided to make this video, guys, is because I've got a comment in my comment section from y'all guys saying that what is the difference between it and does it do the same thing. So in short, yes, it protects a car from multiple things, and there are sensors that are running on the car if your car has them. So we're going to dive into what ARP is and what ESP is. I've made an extensively long video on where I explain what is ARP and why it was provided for the freestyle. So guys, do check that video out as well. But in this video, we're going to be comparing the two things and telling you all how exactly they work and how they're different and why different cars have either ARP or ESP. Having said that, guys, I recently learned that from my YouTube analytics that around 94% of viewers of my videos are not subscribers. So guys, please subscribe to my channel, help a brother out, and that will motivate me to continue making such quirky, informative videos, reviews of cars, and a lot more other things, everything related to automobile. So if you're an automobile enthusiast and you want to know a lot about automobiles, subscribe to this channel, guys, because there's a lot to come, including this Ford Freestyle and a lot of other things. So yeah, guys, enough of self-promotion. Let's get right to it. Let's talk about the two things, the ARP and the ESP, and what's the difference between the two. So first off, I have made an extensively long video on explaining what is ARP, and I put the link to the description above. You can check that out. But before that, guys, let's talk about ESP and what is ESP and what is the difference between the two. So ESP, as the abbreviation stands, it is Electronic Stability Program. It is also known and goes by different words. Electronic Stability Program is used by Mercedes. There's also Dynamic Stability Program used by BMW, and there's also Electronic Stability Control used by some other manufacturers. So what does Electronic Stability Program do? As the name suggests, it makes sure the car is stable at all times. Now, having said that, imagine you are going at around 80-100 kilometers per hour on the expressway at normal cruising speeds, and an object comes in front of you. You swerve vigorously to prevent the car from hitting the object, and whilst doing that, what you don't realize is that your tires that are contact with the road might lose traction. Now ESP have sensors on each wheel, sending information to the ECU, which is the electronic control unit, that is the brains of the car, telling them that each tire is revolving around the same RPM. Now, for instance, when you do this vigorous movement to avoid the object in front of you, what happens is that some wheels might rotate faster because they're losing traction from the road. They're losing contact from the road and they're moving faster. And the ECU senses that one particular wheel or two particular wheels are rotating faster than the rest of the wheels, and it sends information to the ECU. The ECU takes the help of the traction control and starts braking those particular wheels and preventing the car from skidding, because if particular wheels are spinning faster, that means your car is going to skid out of control. So there are two circumstances that might happen when you're losing control. You might either be oversteering or understeering, or your car will be, or when you're skidding out of control, your car might be oversteering or understeering. I'll get into detail in another video where I talk about the difference between oversteering and understeering. But just to understand, if you're oversteering, your car will require to apply brakes automatically. Your traction control will apply brakes automatically to the outer front tire. And if your car is understeering, your car will have to automatically apply brakes to your rear inner tire. Now there are companies and manufacturers who provide these sensors for cars, and one of them is Bosch. Bosch claims that its sensors are monitoring the car 25 times per second. That is super fast. It is paying attention to how the car is driving at every point of time. It is paying attention to the fact that what input the driver is giving for the steering wheel, how fast the tires are rotating, and if the car is following all those orders as the driver intends. For example, if the car is meant to go straight by the driver and the car is tilting on one side, the ESP realizes this and sends information to the ECU, which is the brains of the car, and brakes certain ways to prevent this from happening. Also, in certain instances, when you're cornering at high speeds or you're turning at really high speeds and the speed is too high and the amount of steering that's put makes the car lose control or makes the wheels spin out of control, the car realizes that this is happening. The ESP realizes that this is happening and takes the help of the traction control to brake certain wheels to prevent the car from skidding out of control. So this is another possibility when ESP is required. Now ESP is provided mainly on sedans. It was first provided only on luxury sedans, and now you get it on all our normal sedans as well, because it's a safety feature and it's very important. Abroad, it is mandate on all cars. Now, ARP is not provided on sedans for the sole purpose that it is not required. It's very unlikely that when you're cornering at high speeds or when you're maneuvering very quickly to avoid an object in front of you, that your car is going to topple over. And ARP is only provided for cars that are likely to topple over. Now, why would a car topple over? For example, I have explained this in my ARP video as well, but a car might topple over if the center of gravity of the car is higher. For instance, in SUVs, in CUVs, and even in this car, the Ford Freestyle, the center of gravity has been risen, and as a result, since the center of gravity has been risen, the car is more susceptible to rolling over when you're cornering at high speeds or when you're maneuvering vigorously to avoid an object in front of you. Let's take a similar example. If an object comes in front of you and you're in an SUV or a CUV, a higher race car, you move vigorously, you steer vigorously to prevent hitting the object. And when you do that, what happens is that your car might topple over because the lateral force that's acting on the side of the car is much more than the weight of the car, and the car will topple over. Now, active rollover protect, how it works: imagine a vertical line in the center of the car. It is perpendicular to the road, and this is also known as a tilt sensor. Now, the tilt sensor is sensing what tilt the car is facing. So if you're cornering at high speeds, the amount of lateral force that's acting on the car is quite a lot, and the body roll will be a lot. Hence, the car will be tilting, and the tilt sensor judges how much the car is tilting and realizes that it's tilting more than the threshold, and the car is about to topple over, and it brakes certain wheels and also cuts off the engine power that's going to the wheels and prevents the car from rolling over. So in certain very advanced cases, it also takes control of the steering wheel. So that's what the basic difference between ARP and ESP is. ESP is provided on sedans and it prevents the car from skidding out of control or losing control from its natural path, whilst ARP does the same thing and prevents the car from toppling over. So ARP also uses the help of traction control and ESP and prevents the car from rolling over by braking certain wheels and cutting off the engine. So the process that both of them use, ESP and ARP, is the same. They brake certain wheels, they reduce the power from the engine to the drive shaft, but they protect the car from two different aspects. One is preventing the car from rolling over, and the other one is preventing the car from losing control and skidding out of control. So that is why you have ESP primarily on all sedans and hatchbacks, because they are more likely to skid out of control than roll over. Hence, ARP is not provided for them, and ARP is provided for cars which are taller cars like SUVs and sedans, which require it from toppling over, because there's a high chance that they might topple over when you're cornering at high speeds or you maneuver very quickly to prevent an object in front of you. ARP is also known as different terms, like for example, Volvo claims to be the pioneer in ARP, like how Mercedes claims to be the pioneer in ESP. They don't use the term ARP, Volvo does not use the term ARP, but what they use is, they call it rollover protect system. Volvo calls it rollover protect system. So all these abbreviations are in the market by all different names, but also Volvo uses a different sensors, a gyroscope sensor, to judge the amount of how much the car is tilting, as compared to what Ford uses in this car, which is the ARP, which is a tilt sensor. Like I said, the imaginary vertical line that's in the car, which judges how much the car is tilting and prevents the car. They do essentially the same thing, but they use different sensors. So yeah guys, that wraps up this video. And guys, if you're visiting the channel for the first time, please hit the subscribe button, please hit the like button if you like this video, and share this video. Guys, that will motivate me to continue making a lot of videos like this. And like I said, a lot of y'all guys who view my videos aren't subscribers. So guys, please subscribe to the channel. It'll make a big difference to me and go a long way. And you can also follow me on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter with the same name, The Motoring Gossip. And I hope to see you on the next one. Cheers.